What happens when a country's culture just changes so fast that it starts to feel, well, almost unrecognizable? We're going to dive into a really powerful piece of social commentary that's been making the rounds online, and it paints this stark, maybe even unsettling picture about the future of India.
So, at the very heart of this whole thing is this one super provocative line: Our India will become London. I mean, think about that. That phrase is just loaded. It captures an entire worldview in just a few words. But what's it really getting at? Is it about pride, progress, or is it something else entirely?
And yeah, that right there brings us to the core question we've got to unpack. When you hear that phrase, India will become London, how are we supposed to take it? Is it this exciting promise of progress and modernity? Or is it a warning? A warning about losing something, well, essential along the way? It's that tension, that pull between two ideas that makes this piece so incredibly compelling.
Okay, so let's dig in. What does this massive transformation actually look like on the ground? I mean, the commentary doesn't just leave it as some vague idea. No, it points to really specific signs that it says are, well, heralding this whole new era.
All right, so the source basically lays out three key indicators. First up, a huge change in fashion, and it uses the really provocative word nakedness to talk about modern clothing. Then there's this shift in what's socially acceptable, right? Where if you object to the new way of doing things, you're basically branded an enemy. And finally, technology. Specifically, a Chinese mobile in every home, which, is this huge symbol of globalization's reach. You put all that together, and you get this picture of a society just modernizing at a breakneck speed. And from these big, society-wide shifts, the commentary then zooms in, and it gets really specific. It starts with a critique of modern men. And the argument it's making is that this change, it's not just happening on the outside, with clothes or phones, it's happening on the inside too. And this next line, it just perfectly captures that feeling of loss. Where are men like they used to be? It's one of those questions that doesn't really expect an answer, right? It's just heavy with nostalgia. It's mourning what the author sees as this lost ideal, a move away from a more traditional and, in their opinion, a more real form of masculinity. And check this out, because this really illustrates the argument. So on one side, you've got the man of the past. He's symbolized by the mustache, that classic mark of traditional masculinity, and he's seen as the provider. But the man of today, well, he's clean-shaven, he's got stylish glasses, but empty pockets. The critique couldn't be clearer, right? It's this perceived shift from substance over to superficial style. But hey, the critique doesn't stop with men. Not at all. The commentary then presents this parallel argument about modern women, framing their transformation as just as radical and, well, from the author's point of view, maybe just as unwelcome. And honestly, the feeling here is almost identical to the critique of men. It says, the woman of yesterday is not today's woman. Just, wow. It's a simple line, but it's so stark. It's basically drawing a line in the sand, a complete break from the past and all the traditional roles and behaviors that came with it. And the imagery used here is super specific. The woman of yesterday, she's defined by traditional longer braided hair, but today's woman, well, she wears jeans, she has short hair, and get this, she roams like a female serpent. I mean, that serpent metaphor, that's powerful stuff. It suggests more than just freedom. It implies this kind of wildness, maybe unpredictability, even a sense of danger that's a world away from those traditional ideals of feminine grace. So, okay, we've looked at these critiques of men, of women, of technology, of fashion. So what's really going on here? What's the fundamental anxiety that's sitting at the heart of this entire commentary? What's the real fear that's driving this whole prophecy? At the end of the day, this whole thing isn't really about mustaches or mobile phones. It's an expression of this really deep-seated anxiety over just how fast culture is changing. It's about a very, very human fear, the fear that the world is becoming unrecognizable, and that in this big rush to modernize, to become London, a familiar, valued way of life is just being lost forever. And so this whole thing leaves us with a much bigger question, doesn't it? I mean, this commentary offers one perspective, and it's one that's clearly coming from a place of loss. But it kind of forces all of us to think. When any society evolves, how do we decide what's essential to keep? And what are we ready to let go of? There's definitely no easy answer to that, but it's a question that's absolutely worth asking.